well as aspiring Desis in America. Desis who have helped Trump become the president of America again are living in fear of Trump's America now. Look at the irony of it all. The same America that he wants to make great again, the same America which comprises of Indian Americans who are comprising of the America that he wants to make great again. After tariff tantrum comes the visa vendetta against Desis. Like tariffs soared, the visa review is now for everyone, but Indians, of course, are likely to be severely hit specifically. Let me decode it for you. Trump's twisted policy toolkit. Why do we call it a twisted policy toolkit? Well, first, let's begin with today's trigger. Trump's immigration crackdown. 55 million America visa holders are going to be now under the purview. They are going to be vetted. They are going to be reviewed. And amongst these 55 million, 5 million are Indians who hold American visas. This impacts them directly. The Trump administration has decided to vet and review 55 million US visa holders across the entire world. The idea is to identify the potential violations that could possibly lead to visa revocation, even deportation of foreign nationals from America. Not just that, as part of its crackdown on immigration, the US State Department has also announced that it is going to start requiring all travelers from certain countries to pay bonds from $5,000 to $15,000 to merely enter America. So before you enter, you may have to pay a deposit that you are going to leave. But let's tell you about the grounds for ineligibility. If you have an American visa, are you under review? What is going to be the grounds for you being deported back to India? Here you have it. In case the visa, you have overstayed on your visa. That is one of the grounds. Second one is if you indulge in any criminal activity in America, you are likely to be deported. You also may be deported if you are deemed to be a threat to public safety. Of course, it is Americans who are going to decide that. You'll also be deported back to India if there are any links to terrorism, as per America. And here's what will be examined by the Trump administration. How are they going to decide this and get all this information? They're going to do it via social media accounts. They're going to be reviewing and going through everything you put on a Facebook, on Twitter, on Insta, review all of it and make up their mind whether you are going to be a threat to America or not. Also, law enforcement records are going to be pulled out of anyone who has an American visa, whether or not they have any kind of record in any other country as well. Immigration records also are going to be looked into, as well as US law violations. In case you have violated an American law, you are going to be deported back to India. Many are saying that's fine. If you have violated or flouted your visa norms, what's the problem? But why the sudden review? You must have seen this video. Let's tell you about this. This one, remember, came in from Florida of a fatal crash by a truck being driven by an Indian. 3 people were killed because of an illegal turn which was made by this truck driver. And this led the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio announcing a freeze on visas for commercial truck drivers. Yes, that's right. Commercial drivers are not going to be given visas. And a lot of this is going to impact India and Indian Americans directly. This blanket pause, after all, is going to hit severely the Indian truck drivers. Let me explain to you why in just a bit. But first, here's what Marco Rubio had said. I'm going to quote him here in the post that he's put up. He says that pausing visas for all commercial drivers is what he has said. He said it is a body blow for Indian truckers. Why? Because H-2B visas for truckers in the year 2025 was 1,490. In the year before that, 2024, it was 1,400. So a significant amount. But here's the interesting bit. Sikhs in America are part of the trucking industry, and this comes to a whopping 150,000. So there are 150,000 Sikhs who are there in US in the trucking industry. Their visas H-2B visas are going to be directly impacted if they put a pause on it. Sikh drivers in America, after all, are biggest part of the trucking industry, about 1,35,000 of them. This is by Sikh's PAC. Other details and the data is coming in. So a question which comes to mind: is Trump deliberately targeting India while he's rolling out a red carpet for Putin and even Xi Jinping of China? Sample this: the curious case of the Russian oil. Why are we calling it that? Let's tell you how India has been punished, but China has been spared. And this is very interesting because India has said, for India, it is US told us to buy Indian oil. India's made it very clear that you told us to buy Russian oil, but when it comes, Russian oil that is, but when it comes to China, they are the largest buyer of Russian oil, but there are no additional tariffs on them. But there are additional tariffs on India, a penalty which has been announced by India, which may take up the tariffs to 50%. And amidst all of this, there are warnings which are coming in from within as well. Will Trump pay attention? Sample this. This is what Nikki Haley, who is the former ambassador of UN, had to say about Trump's twisted policies and how he seems to be rolling out a red carpet to Putin. He's going easy on Xi Jinping and China, but he's using carrot and stick policy against India. Nikki Haley has warned. She says to counter China, rebuild US and India ties. Goes on to say US and India relationship is at a very troubling inflection point right now. Explosive series of events in the last few weeks have happened, and India is not an adversary like China. Unlike China, the rise of India is not a threat to the free world. She goes on to say to face China, US must have a friend in India. Important words coming in from Nikki Haley.